Welcome back. The midweek MP trio have reunited to talk budget, duck hunters, and Earth Day. Labrador Liberal MP Yvonne Jones, BC NDP MP Ginny Sims, Ontario Conservative MP Stella Ambler. Welcome back. Nice to have you guys here.
Thank you.
All right, this Joe Oliver comment about, oh, you know, we got a problem here, but it's going to be Stephen Harper's granddaughter's problem to solve. That's kind of manna from heaven for opposition parties. What did you make of it, Yvonne?
Well, I thought his comment was absolutely absurd. I mean, who would ever make a comment like that when everybody in this country, everybody in a leadership role that are fiscally prudent, are always talking about planning for the future, building for our children, leaving something for them and not debt. I mean, leaving something better for them. So, you know, when he made that comment, I think everyone was astounded around him. And the fact that he's not backtracked on it, he's not tried to apologize for it, leads me to believe that this is the type of ideology that we're dealing with, and if that's been the case, then we're not going to see any improvements anytime soon under this government.
Slip of the tongue here, Ginny, or do you see something deeper, an ideological plot here?
When you balance a budget by selling off GM shares and then using that money, and when you take money from the contingency fund, from the EI fund, and unspent monies over the last year that this government promised to spend on programs, then when you have created, and you really do have a structural deficit because you're borrowing from all over or stealing from all over in order to have a balanced budget, then to make a comment like, and you know, the Prime Minister's granddaughter, that's her problem. I'm a grandmother, by the way. I don't want to leave problems for my children or grandchildren. I want to leave them with a planet that has been looked after and a country that's been well managed.
I thought your head was going to explode for a minute there.
Yeah, I can't believe you just said stealing. That's crazy.
Admit it's a stupid comment, right?
He was dismissing a preposterous claim about TFSAs you know, and balancing
no parliamentary budget officer.
No, actually, balancing the budget is good for future generations. It's good for Ginny's grandchildren, and although I can't believe
if it really is balanced.
No,
I should have thought about that 7 years ago.
Of course it is. Of course it is, and we've actually worked hard to do that, and we've done it at the same time as we've lowered taxes for families. Helping seniors. These are all the great initiatives in the budget.
What do we do when we have real crises and our contingency fund has been reduced to such a small amount compared to where it used to be?
That is completely false, Jenny. You should check that because it's not true. No, you haven't.
We are taking money out of the contingency fund.
No, we're not.
You had a $3 billion contingency. Now you got a $1 billion contingency. $2 billion left.
I can remember a minister last year after the Calgary floods and the Manitoba floods saying we have to look at putting more money into our contingency funds to look at that, you know, the kind of natural disasters we could face. But here we are now, the contingency fund has been reduced, and nobody can deny that that's not prudent economics.
Ginny, your grandchildren will be well looked after by the fact that we're helping them save for the future. Balancing budgets is good for the future generations. So is keeping more money in the pockets of families.
My grandchildren didn't balance budgets for 7 years. You didn't balance budgets.
And my grandchildren have fewer opportunities now than my children had, and that's not the way it's supposed to be.
I think the most interesting thing about this is that Rachel Harper's going to be Prime Minister one day. Stephen Harper's grandchild. Oh, it's his grandchild. Her daughter. Okay, never mind.
I don't think she has those kinds of...
Let's move on. I said I was going to give you guys a shot at taking something you really didn't like of this budget, but you shocked me by saying there are some things you like in this budget. Name one, Ginny.
Well, I support a tax break for small businesses. They are the job creators. Up to 80% of the jobs are generated by them. I don't like the way it's being done. It's spread out over too long a period. But it's also something they've stolen from our platform. But as you know, flattery, stealing something like this is often called flattery.
Lowering taxes.
Justin Trudeau's position that he doesn't want that.
No, we've actually, that's been our commitment.
We have no problem with the reduction reduction in taxes for small business, and we actually support that. In fact, he was just asked a question in the House of Commons only minutes ago, and he responded to it in that same language. But what we liked in the budget, I think what we liked most was the income for people that are sick, the benefits, the caregiver benefits. That's what we like, extending it from 6 weeks to 6 months. We had that in our platform in 2011. It was one of the highlights of the Liberal platform at that time.
Wow, that's good. That means the Liberals won't actually reverse that, so that's good.
They're not going to. Okay, I'll give you your chance. What's your number one budget? Is there anything you don't like in this budget?
No, I wasn't going to say. I was going to mention the compassionate care.
You don't like that?
No, I love it. I think it's. I was going to say that, so I'll pick another one. I think the home accessibility tax credit for seniors and people with disabilities is also a good one, because what it does is it helps the elderly and people who have problems with accessibility in their own homes. It helps to keep their own homes safe, and we're making it a bit more affordable for them to be able to.
You do not like income splitting.
Do not support income splitting, because here billions of dollars are going to be used to assist the top 15%. Economists, the parliamentary budget officer, economists have come out and said this is poor economic jurisprudence.
I would really like to know how the Liberal leader are defining rich, because I just don't. I can't imagine how a family tax cut that benefits all families, 4 million of them with children in Canada, could possibly be for the rich only. I don't understand that.
Well, when you bring in a tax break that's only going to benefit 15% of the population, and they're the top earners in the country, there's your definition of rich.
They're going to families with children under 18 start getting your checks in July.
The thing in this budget that I really do not like is the income splitting, because it leaves too many Canadian families behind who need that tax break, and the doubling of the TFSAs. Come on, who do you know?
She got to say
who do you know who has money kicking around in their back pocket and in their dresser drawers at the end of every year that they can put $10,000 into this benefit?
11 million Canadians have put money into TFSAs. 11 million have done that.
Cannot come up with the 5,500 each year, notwithstanding the 10,000.
Do we want to get to Earth Day?
$60,000.
I want to say, let me say how glad I am that the Liberal leader is actually admitting that he doesn't like income splitting, so he's going to take that away. I want to know, is he going to take it away from seniors too? Because we have initiated income splitting for pensioners. So he likes it for seniors, but not for families.
Is working for many more pensioners.
Earth Day today. The budget came out yesterday. There was no climate change reference in it anywhere. Why not? Why don't you do something more to tackle climate change? It is a problem.
Oh no, greenhouse gas emissions are. This is the first and only government to tackling those seriously. They have been reduced by by initiatives like transport initiatives to reduce greenhouse gas, and be very practical solutions on how to do this. The environmental the environmental initiatives not only in this budget.
Stella, listening to the Minister for the Environment speaking today.
Hang on, Stella. Let her talk.
For the Environment talking today, I really felt that she hadn't actually read the budget book. Yes. And maybe she just read some briefing notes and got speaker's notes from the PMO. But what it really struck me is that here we have even the few little elements under the environment where they're putting in money. It's where they've made cuts of 40 to 56% already, or they're planning to. But really, when you're dealing with climate change, Don, I visit lots of schools, and I hear that as the #1 issue from the young people. I hear about that as being a #1 issue, and we as a country are in denial because of our government. The people are not, but our government definitely is in denial. They have failed the future generations.
Yvonne, you see it. You're up north, right?
That the grandchildren cannot fix if we don't.
Climate change is a real issue in this country. The fact that the Conservatives ignore it doesn't make it less real. It is. It exists. I live in the north. I represent a lot of of the territories in terms of my critic portfolios, so I spend a lot of time there. The changes are evident. They're happening, and it's having a serious impact upon the lives of people who live there from a social economic perspective, but it's having a huge impact on Canadians environmentally. What I would like to do is tip my hat to the provinces in this country that are leading the way with some of these initiatives. And it's sad when we're leaving it to provinces to create direction around climate change and not having good practices led by the national government.
You've got 20 seconds, Stella.
20 seconds. So absolutely, we take it very seriously. In fact, reducing greenhouse gas emissions and initiatives around that. We've committed over $1 billion to those kinds of initiatives, but we want to make sure we do that without instituting a job-killing carbon tax.
Okay.
That's the most important thing.
Nicely done. 21 seconds. Nicely done. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Very chippy.